What's up, y'all? I hope you love the intro. Welcome back to Why We Love Blank, where we dive into certain subjects and go behind the curtains to see why we love them and endure them so much. Today, I'm joined by Brian, and we're speaking about why we love anime. Now, if you could do me a favor, just let the people know about you, man. What's up?
I'm Brian. I'm in for the plot.
Just for the plot?
No.
Or the plot twist?
So basically, I'm Brian. Me and Alex became friends working together. It's that person who asked, do you watch anime? And I was like,
hey, do you watch anime?
Yeah, I do.
yeah, I do. And it's like the secret, like, yeah, I do. And then we just, like, I guess, discovered and uncovered a whole new world, as they say. I wanted to ask you, what's one of your favorite animes out right now? I know I always ask you a lot, but I love to hear it.
Out right now is going to be Haiku. Top anime for me. And still top one I'm watching right now.
I like it. I like it a lot. Can you tell me why is it that you resonate with it so much? I actually never asked you as to why you like it so much.
You did, you asshole. Because I guess just because I played volleyball in middle school, and then it came out this. My cousin showed me this anime Haiku, and I was like, "Oh, dope! Let me watch this." And then I think it's like the best sports anime out there, and it just has that underdog story, person who wants to do something that it's not possible for a short person. I'm 6 feet.
It's not 6 feet. He's like 5'2". But how many seasons is it? Like how many episodes per season? I forgot.
First 2 seasons, there's 25 episodes. Season 3 is 10 episodes, and then season 4 is starting now, so it's probably gonna be 25 episodes.
Fuck, that's a lot of fucking Haiku to watch all in one go. Can I watch it on Crunchyroll?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We're not sponsored.
No, not sponsored. I wish. Crunchyroll, if you're watching this.
Not sponsored.
I love always having kind of like the debate, and we haven't had it at work yet, but I want to. The whole like subbed versus dubbed. We've had this conversation lately.
Punch you in the face.
I will say like certain shows in particular are decent in dubbed. I'll be honest.
Punch him in the face. What? Sure.
Like, why do you think that war is so massive? I never like know why it's so massive.
Just because when, say, like the movie Parasite that came out, and now America wants to make a Americanized Parasite TV show, so they kind of just ruin it.
Really?
So
I didn't know that.
So even like Netflix, when they adapted Death Note, that was crappy. So if you think about it, it's so good subbed or Japanese voiced, and then just unnatural as hell when it comes to dubbed. Like only a few like voice actors can make it work, like Vegeta and Piccolo, and then you have like Cowboy Bebop. If you watch it dub beginning, you're gonna love it dub first rather than sub. I know there's some people who watch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood dub that they prefer that. Trash. So it's just unnatural when it comes to American voice actors. Like you don't get that passion behind their voice.
Yeah, and I mean like there's certain exceptions, right? Like to me, I always watched back in the day, like Dragon Ball Z in particular is one of those animes that can get away with being dubbed because the voice acting is like up to par. And another one like All Might in particular as well. Like he in dubbed has like the perfect voice. And I don't know if you had the opportunity to see Gentle Criminal. He's like a British dude, and it sounds soothing, but I understand like as far as like the passion and stuff goes, like it goes a long way. And I mean, personally to me, I love subbed as well over everything, but yeah. Dude, this is actually a question. I had to write this down because I didn't know if you knew the answer to this. It was something that just randomly popped into my head, but the word UA for UA High School, what does that even stand for? I was trying to Google it and I couldn't find anything on it. Or is it just genuinely like just UA? You know what I mean?
University Academy?
University Academy High School?
Yeah, I think so. Because it's universally wide known for heroes. Stupid.
University Academy High School.
If I find it right now.
Can we find it right now? Can you do that? Can you look it up right now?
UA is simplified pronunciation U and EI. As you can see, they write the school name in kanji. It looks like this. And most importantly, the word hero is U in Japanese. So I guess...
What the fuck does that mean, Brian? I need you to find this. I also want the pop figure too for UA. Like there's the actual school pop figure. I'm gonna get it into my collection. That's a promise.
I guess this is spelled U.
UA?
That's UA. Which I guess,
okay.
Because I guess you have to know kanji to know. So like hero is that, which is that to
UA.
It goes into UA.
So Hero Academy.
Hero High School. That's all it is.
Hero High School.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, I guess that fucking makes sense, folks. I guess over here we're just kind of two pairs of dumb. And then speaking of UA, do you have any quirk of choice or like any power of choice that you would actually use? It could be like already made or it's something that you're like that you would think of off the top of your dummy baloney. Did I put you on the spot that hard that you can't think of a superpower, dog? Just say flying and get it over with.
Probably overhauls, just so I can pretty much deconstruct and reconstruct.
What would you? Now I have to know. What would you do
My
with?
penis.
I was hoping for that. I really was. I think my superpower would have to be the power to manipulate time, but in the sense of
Not
like
possible.
that is possible. But I feel like we're talking about superpowers. It's not possible. So
Not in you.
fuck you. I think my fucking power would be amazing. So the power to manipulate time would be essentially like I can stop time, but if I go like this, I can unfreeze you in the frozen time. So we'd be able to manipulate it together. But that would be towards like anybody, not just you. I would keep you frozen. And then we're getting Demon Slayer right around the corner, right?
I think so.
When's the movie coming out? Do you know? September 2020th.
It took so long because they're from Japan. So
It's gonna take a long fucking time. I guarantee that shit's gonna be in theaters as well. Guarantee it.
oh, duh.
It has to be.
And it's going to be.
Which is crazy. Like speaking of theaters with the new My Hero movie, which we'll get into later, the fact that it surpassed not only its predecessor, the first movie, but also Dragon Ball Z, which is fucking insane. It got how much in the box office? 10 million in the first 2 weeks. Technically, the amount of time that it's been out. And speaking of Dragon Ball Z, besides, I was having a conversation with John about this. The simple fact that like if we take away the nostalgia piece of Dragon Ball Z, of like loving it as a kid and growing up with it, and we take it into consideration, like we digest, let's say, Super alone. Do you think that the future of Dragon Ball Z has like a super high success rate with all of the other animes that are out right now? Or do you think they need to step up their ball game? Like, especially to me, the fighting in particular, like if you remember Super, you had like, they were literally standing like this, flying back and forth, and you just see white dots. To me, that's fucking boring now in comparison to what we see now with, you know, like My Hero. We have Demon Slayer, which has one of the best animations I've ever seen in history.
I mean, they have a manga that's already continuing on, but the fighting does suck now. Besides its flashy big moves and stuff like that, like the last good fight was the Tournament of Power, or Power, whatever the fuck it's called. It's when Frieza, Goku, and 17 fought Jiren.
Fucked his life up too.
There are some good fight scenes there, but other than that, it's kind of boring. Besides Goku doing something.
Yeah, which is fire. I mean, like, those scenes in particular were cool, right? Because it added an extra layer to it. But I feel like even diving into when he went Ultra Instinct and he was standing like this and his body wasn't moving at all and he had like the dome around him, that shit is so blech, so bland. To where like, I just wish with the Broly movie how good it looked. I hope and wish that it goes into like those types of fight scenes and stuff like that within Dragon Ball Z. Because honestly, I don't think I could watch anymore. Do you feel that you're like 12 years old when you watch anime? Or do you, I mean, not really, like that sounds weird, but I mean like with that inner child kind of like watching a really badass fighting scene and stuff, I always feel like I'm like 12 again, and I'm able to kind of connect to in another plane of existence, I guess, when I watch anime. Do you feel like that?
No, I don't really feel that way sometimes. I felt maybe like when I was younger, like maybe watching Naruto at first, but then when you watch Naruto now, I guess I appreciate it more than I do back then, especially watching anime, like the work that goes into it, like animation wise, artwork wise, the budget, the whole voice acting, because before it was kind of just a show, and now you look into more detail, and that's why like watching Dragon Ball now, you're like, okay, this is kind of trash because they don't really put much work into the fighting, or like stuff like that. And then when you watch a different one, you're like, okay, you can appreciate this more because the creators put a lot of work and thought into it behind it.
I mean, that's true. It's also like the simple fact that like not only the fighting, but also like story points and things like that, like things that actually matter now as an adult, where you can like grab onto and focus on it. I feel like a lot of other animes have kind of surpassed what the older ones, like One Piece, which, why the fuck is that so long? First off. Second off, like Dragon Ball Z as well, things like that. How many episodes are in One Piece? I think I read online it was like 900 and something episodes and still going. There's on season like 50 now, I think. I don't know. It's just fucking crazy. That guy doesn't ever find the treasure. Kind of tagging along like the superpower question. This is probably going to stump you equally as long, but if you could have one useless superpower. I asked this to everybody, so you got to give me your best answer. Go.
I can change my body form to any food I want to, but the more I eat it, so say if it's like I turn my hand into a hash brown and I eat it, it can regrow. As a hand or a hash brown? As a hand. But if I try to do a hash brown again, it's like less crispy or less seasoned. So
sucks. You can't have the same perfect meal twice.
Exactly.
Fuck. Would you make your hair into like spaghetti? It's a lot of hair follicles, so that's a lot of spaghetti.
I'd make it into
like a rotisserie chicken on your head.
To a Twizzlers?
You Twizzler head, dude? That's fucking raw, dude. You know how much cavities you'd build up?
Because I hate Twizzlers, so it's like the one I want to get out the way so I never have to eat it again.
What? Wait, but you have to eat it for it to regrow back as a normal thing.
Exactly.
This is a really fucking useless superpower, dude. I probably have like where I can turn a doorknob, right, when I'm turning it, but my power kicks in, so it turns the doorknob ever so slightly for me, so I can turn it less to open the door. You know, my girlfriend hates that one. She fucking thinks that that's actually kind of useful.
Mine would be to control lights in a room, but the lights has to be straight LED lights, so if it doesn't, I can't control it. So I could turn the brightness up or down, but it has to be an LED light, or else it's like...
But isn't a lot of shit LED now? So your fucking power is actually kind of nice, especially if you can't see anything.
So if I can create a suit that my suit has like LED lights in for it, and I can focus it to one point, and then straight beam of like LED light that actually is too hot to touch.
Fucking plus ultra. You were telling me about one of your saddest scenes. That wasn't necessarily so sad. It was haiku, I think.
Oh yeah.
So I want to know, like, and for you guys out there, this is going to be a question that I want you guys to answer as well. Please let me know, what was the saddest scene in anime history for you out there ever?
One week later.
Brian! Saddest scene in anime ever go.
Saddest is going to be... Show is going to be maybe ReZero, when Rem's confessing her love and stuff to Subaru, and Subaru automatically just says he loves Emilia. And then if you don't know the anime, then you know what the fuck I'm talking about. But that was like fucking heartbreaking to watch. And then movie wise, it's probably Your Name, when she's running down the mountain or the road to save the school, and when she finally met the guy, they wrote down each other's names on their hand, but when she fell and rolled and looked at her hand because she was forgetting his name, it doesn't say his name, it just says I love you. And then she's like, how am I supposed to remember your name like that? And starts bawling, and I was like, fuck.
Damn, dude. I low-key want to cry from that, but I won't. Alright guys, this part's going to be broken out strictly for the My Hero Academia Heroes Rising movie. So if you haven't seen it, please skip ahead to 29 minutes and 55 seconds, or even just 30 minutes, because you don't want to get anything spoiled. Unless you want to, then go ahead and continue to watch. And now let's get back to the video. Alright dude, so
Deku dies.
I don't want to like go scene by scene, but I do want to talk about this because it's in the fucking opening. But Endeavor, dude, we haven't seen any of Endeavor the entire show up until this point. I mean, granted, we had the All for One arc, but we didn't really see him go hard. He chased down like what, one or two like miniature Nomus, but in this movie he fucking slapped, dude. What was the one move he used where it was literally like he went like this, and then he just fucking sent just an embodiment of flame, and then we had Dabi kind of counteract that, which was an amazing opening as well. And also another cool thing was the fact that they still maintained to make it like realistic, even though in the world of superheroes, dude, they were driving cars to get to the villain. Like, that's super cool. And typically you would see like Goku flying or Naruto full-blown sprinting because there is no cars in that world. But it's just really cool to see kind of like how they utilize real world tools, I guess, to get the job done, even though Rock Lock got rocked, period. What did you feel in that opening scene? Like, how did you feel?
At first I was really confused on why Dabi and Endeavor pretty much even when they shot flames out, because I was like, yo, what the fuck? It's like, you're a weak ass bitch.
Endeavor, right?
Yeah, I was like, what the hell? And then I was like, all right, there's that cool flame move, and I was like, oh, okay. I was like, this doesn't make sense, because that wasn't even Dabi for real. That was just a clone. I was like, all right.
Yeah. It was cool, but it did have me question that as well, because that's super weird. You think Endeavor being quote unquote the number 2/number 1 hero now, he would be able to mop the floor with fucking mud people, but I guess not. But jumping from there, like, one thing that I have to nitpick really bad, because it was something that was a gripe throughout the movie. It was almost like with the girl, the sister, it was almost like The Boy Who Cried Wolf, where it was just, I felt like there was too much like, haha, I fooled you too many times until the ending part. But I feel like, I guess they had to do that to just fill in the movie. How did you feel about that? I don't know.
I mean, she's only doing it just to convince her brother that heroes aren't all that, to change his mind to not be a hero, because she's scared of the dangers he would encounter. True. So she kept trying to do that to show him, like, see, heroes aren't really all what they're meant to be, or they're not actually all brave and stuff, but so yeah.
Idiot. Little did she know. She had Try Hard Deku in the corner. I loved it, dude. Also, another cool part that I thought was, like, since they were all kind of like in that that building doing like hero work and stuff, how it was is it Yurika? I don't know how to pronounce her name. Yurika. Headphone Jack and then Deku all kind of like roaming the city together on his back, basically. He's just fucking mad dashing. I thought that was pretty cool. And I loved how each character had like their own moment, but it also kind of showcased like character development to an extent, you know? And especially they kind of stick to their roots, especially with Bakugo not doing jack shit, because he's like, this is fucking a waste of my time. Of course, until the ending, which was fucking phenomenal. It was just beautiful, dude. It was beautiful. And like, You know what it actually reminded me of a little bit? With like the dead silence, almost reminded me of the triumphant moment with Naruto when he was fighting Pain. And he sent Hinata up in the air, and when he brought her back down, you see Naruto's face kind of like, oh fuck, and just snap. But it was that dead silence in between those moments that it kind of like, I had that connection with the movie in certain points and stuff. And I don't know about you, dude. I came into that movie mad anxious. Not into it, sorry. I was basically anxious throughout the whole movie because of like the tone that it had set, I guess, from seeing 9 for the first time and stuff like that. I feel like it was a really cool introduction to him. And one thing I do have to ask is the simple fact that like that movie is supposedly non-canon because it doesn't affect this storyline. But we saw last episode, this Saturday that just passed, that Deku gets the gauntlets from the movie, that he was able to shoot the air cannons. So is it the fact that it's like, I guess not really spoiling things that are happening, but more or less that like it could potentially be like bits and pieces of canon that they just wanted to throw in there? Like how?
The only probably canon part is going to be him giving his power to Bakugo, and then 9 being canon as well. So none of those villains are actually in the main storyline. So pretty much like all they did is not going to be involved in the manga, but like what the abilities they can do, what they have, like what's his name, nasal laser or whatever. Like that move is probably actually one of his Shodashi move. Deku with the air cannon is actually real. But other than that, that's just everything else is probably canon.
And I also liked, I was seeing online, and I don't know if you agree with this, that like Shoto was almost a disappointment in this movie. But I personally, like, from seeing the damn movie twice, I feel like that's the opposite. I feel like he executed properly. But do you think he was a failure at all? Because I don't.
I mean, the fucking...
He literally won.
The wolf guy was literally...
frozen to fucking death.
Not even that. It's like that was probably the most powerful villain. He was just whooping them without even trying. But so, I mean, he couldn't do it by himself because he needed someone to be a shield, someone to hold him back so he could give enough time to freeze them.
Facts.
So, I mean, it's not that. I mean, maybe he could have done different. It was a different villain, but that villain was just top tier, like, too powerful for someone to handle by themselves.
And do you think that, like, he's going to utilize... I mean, to an extent, you see that he's able to do, like, that much ice production, but that's because, like, his body's a internal, like, thermal pump, in a sense, because of his flame side. Do you think he's going to be, like, above and beyond later on? Because you've read the manga. I want you to spoil it for me right now. From what you've seen in the movie, does he get even more badass? Do you think he's stronger than his dad?
It's starting now because now him, Bakugo, and Deku are now training with, or pretty much learning from, Endeavor. Like he's telling, like, you guys are, like, he's pinpointing their weaknesses and what's going on. He's showing Shoto how to use flash or fire flash or whatever he's called to go super fast. And then he's like, Deku's like, you need to learn how to, instead of like focusing on one point of like, okay, 8% or something, like kind of have your legs at like 15%, your arms at 8%, kind of like that, all at once. And then Bakugo, something about like trying to narrow his, like, when he's trying to fly to go faster, to narrow his explosions to one like single beam, like how he does that little
with the hand.
Yeah, that, so he can focus on going faster.
Fuck. I mean, for the most part, I feel like it's going to be a show, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's going to be a show based off of like those three in a sense, and it's having them as kind of like the pinnacle of focus, and then the rest of them being like Red Riot kind of being the next tier below them. And who else would be, I guess, let me ask you this, because this is actually really important, at least to me. I can't remember his name, but the guy that does the lightning, and they use him as the fucking the rod. Does he become more badass, and do they utilize him, or do they fucking waste his talents?
It's mostly just them three. What's his name? Fucking the crow guy. What's his name? I forgot his name. Dark Shadow. He's good. Asua, the Frappies. there too. She's high. She's pretty much high tier. But everyone else
I
really.
assume so.
Lita, I don't really see Lita as that being that good just because he can move super fast.
Mm-hmm. He did have that really sick ass move though, where he fucking like he basically was Minato for a second. He went and he fucking kicked that guy in the head really hard. But I mean, that's all that he can really do, I guess. Also, Uraka, whatever, she went pretty fucking hard. She went mega plus ultra in that movie, dude. It was pretty nice. One thing I do have to talk to you about, though, was the final fight. Bridging into the final fight it's already on YouTube. You guys can look it up and see it. Was the scene where Deku joins Bakugo in the fight, and he ends up doing I guess like a Detroit kick, and then he gets sent back by 9, and then he goes flying backwards and then gets caught by Kanchan. That was fucking awesome. The simple fact that he was able to catch it, and he just did a multiple spin. That shit was tight. But going into the final fight, I think that, and you tell me how you felt watching it for the first time and then even the second time. It was badass, of course, but the silence as soon as they after he was just like, don't tell me what to do, and they both left the area they were at, and that silence in the theater and in the movie added such an impact. How did you feel?
It was different, I guess, because most animes will put a hype song on. Like Dragon Ball Z or Super, when they started the Ultra Instinct song, like you would get all hyped up. But then for this one, like they put a soft just piano for women singing in the background with no other noise, not even explosions or the noises they're fighting. It was just straight up them, just the music playing while you're watching. It was kind of like it zones you out and from everything around you and just focuses on that, on the whole fight, and then you're just more appreciating what's actually going on with that. I don't know, it's kind of weird at first, and then watching it a second time, just to watch and appreciate that fight on all the animations.
I don't know if you noticed when Bakugo did the last kind of explosion before he bounced back, it was when it zooms out, right, and it shows his force field, and it shows the impact hitting the force field, how it was shaped almost like a bomb. And then when Deku did the same thing, and you see the force field one more time in that same angle, if you look closely enough, dude, he's shaped like a fucking missile. He's literally drawn as a missile beam, and it was fucking insane. And also kind of catering to what you mentioned last time, and in general, as far as good animations go, I feel that whole sequence was so well and just greatly drawn, especially because of the minor details of the chunks and shit that were breaking off of the mountain that they were fighting in and stuff. And you can even see sparks and shit when he was trying to block, and there was just so much attention to detail within that fight that I appreciated it that much more, because they could have easily gone through and made it mad blurry and barely had anything be seen of exactly what's going on, but they went through and made it super thorough, which I fucking appreciated. And even seeing Bakugo melt through that mountain and getting to a temperature so fucking high to the point where he's literally creating lava, that was spectacular, dude. And do you think he's gonna get like that in the show?
I don't. Probably not, because he has to have one for all, one for all, to be able to get to that level to increase his power. But maybe close. But I feel like he's gonna be the number one hero compared to Deku in the future, just because Deku's always copying his moves. When he did the missile, he's actually spinning like Bakugo did when he does his final move.
I do know that you were telling me something when we left the theater the second time, the simple fact that the writer had that as the initial plan. Can you dive into that a little bit? Because I wanted to hear about it.
So basically, the creator initially initially wanted that to be the ending of My Hero, that Deku transfers one for all to Bakugo to beat whatever villain they have to beat, or in order to beat the villain. So that's why I guess like to make Deku the greatest hero to ever live was that he sacrificed his power to Bakugo in order to protect the people.
The beep beep.
So that was his plan, maybe to be an ending, but now he put it into a movie, so now he has to think. So now that's gonna be a different ending, how the manga or the show will end.
Why do you think he did that though? Like, why do you think he sacrificed that ending for the simple fact of just putting it into this movie?
Probably just because he wanted to top the last movie ending. That was probably the best way. And then also probably maybe he created... Oh, well, no, he actually said they have to think of another way to end it now. I'm not too sure if they already have a plan or not. Mm-hmm. But it might just be better than that.
I mean, that's actually, like... It's wild to me, the fact that he wanted to do that, you know? And just kind of, like, sacrifice that. Because that just means he has to go hard and go rewrite a whole new script, dude. Like, that's insane to me, you know? And... just to know that the show has so much more to go. Do you think it's going to be one of those long-lasting shows, but just of this generation, or do you think they're going to have a pretty significant stopping point? Probably like, what would you say, like, if we do manga to show right now, that's what? Probably 7 seasons?
No.
Or, sorry, more. It would probably be like 15 seasons? Okay, go ahead.
No, because he's already discussed, like, saying this is a while ago, saying he was close to the ending, or because it was supposed to originally end sooner than originally planned to. So maybe with all the revenue or something, he's probably being able to continue on with it. Because right now the manga and the anime aren't that close to each other, so the manga's still going on. There's no really pause in between it, unless they decide to do a time skip. Other than that, the manga's still going, and the anime's not that close to being caught up either, so it's a good space in between to continue on doing it.
Yeah. Instead of having to be like mad caught up to the manga, and then we're just neck and neck, and then the anime does a Game of Thrones where it fucking just diverges, and then it becomes the shittiest final season in history of ever. And then diving out of My Hero, I wanted to actually ask you, because I can't remember your answer, but diving into Demon Slayer, right? If you were to have a sword, what color would it be? Also, what kind of technique would you be?
White and mist.
A white sword?
With the mist pillar.
So, like a bright white sword?
Yeah.
That's actually kind of badass. And mist? Who, you Zabuza?
No, they're the mist pillar. You haven't seen him fight yet, but he's probably third powerful. I say third overall pillar.
Someone I haven't seen yet.
Oh, well, you've seen him, but you just haven't seen him fight.
Oh, wait, that's the dude who's always crying, isn't he?
He's not always crying. He's the one who just does this. Who threw the rock at Tanjiro.
Oh, okay. What about the big ass dude who's always crying though? Is he badass?
He's technically the strongest pillar.
He's sound or whatever?
No, he is Earth.
He's like, and he just fucking sound waves. What about the dude who reminds me of Orochimaru?
The snake dude?
Yeah.
She's top 5.
She?
He.
I think you said she. I was like, whoa, dude, throw me a fucking curveball. That's sick, dude. I wish I would have like almost like a dark, I don't know. I feel like that color would be nice, that teal. I feel like that'd be really fucking cool. But I would pair it with like fucking bloodbending. I don't know. This isn't Avatar, I know, but if I were to have a breathing technique, I feel like when I breathe now, yeah, it's whatever is in like an inhaler. That's my breathing technique. That comes out. Zenitsu is really cool. Like that lightning is fucking amazing. I've always been a huge like fan of lightning. Even in Dark Souls 3 right now, the build that I have is based off of faith, so I'm using a lot of lightning. It's always intrigued me, so I feel like that would be kind of my power there. My breathing technique is straight lightning. because that involves speed, that involves power, that involves balance, I guess. But then diving out of Demon Slayer, I forgot your answer to this. What world would you live in if you can live in an anime? You said Demon Slayer last time, didn't you?
I think so.
That's fucking wild. Do you still stick to that answer? This is your final answer. Is it your answer?
Probably. It looks exciting as long as I get to have like some kind of good pillar or like some good breaking technique.
So this man is telling me right now his favorite anime out right now is Haiku, and you wouldn't live in that world where you can play volleyball all the fucking time?
No, the fuck?
What?
People are like 6'5" in there, and I'm fucking.
But you're in an anime. You probably would have powers, I would
Why would I
assume.
have a power in a sports anime? Makes no sense.
I could have sworn that that's what they had. Like
They
some,
don't have powers.
they don't have powers, so it's
Wow,
just
that's fucking
it's like
weird.
raw, like pure power that they're spiking this fucking ball. I feel like you can live in that world and succeed. But if you want to live in Demon Slayer, I mean, like by all means, fucking fight demons all you want. I feel like I would love to live in the world of like, oh my god, what was that show called? It's a cooking show.
Oh, Food Wars.
Food Wars. I would eat all the time. Are you kidding me? I would be one of those people who do the contest all the time.
You can only cook, but you can't eat your own food very well.
No. I'm the tester. I would test the food. I wouldn't make the fucking food.
Just be like, this is good.
Yeah, this is delicious, and then just destroy it. No, I would definitely. If I were to seriously choose an anime, I probably would live in My Hero, just because I would love to have a quirk, and I would love to be alongside Deku. To be honest, just fanboying.
An extra.
I would be an extra. I'd be a civilian they'd save. That's good enough for me. That's definitely good enough for me. I'd be the damsel in distress. I wouldn't even have a quirk. How far have you gotten in Fire Force though? You've gotten a decent. You haven't caught up, but you've gotten a decently like amount.
I get it, but I stopped after they traveled to like, I think it was like China or something.
They travel?
Yeah, they leave Japan to go somewhere else for a bit, but that's all as far as I got. And I stopped reading.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's still dope though. I want to be able to go to Japan and then go to China and then do all that stuff. Does he become more badass?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Because I mean, now he's able to fucking basically manipulate time.
Yeah, but if he does that too much, then he starts losing.
Brain cells. For those of you who know or don't know, like Fire Force has been one of my favorite animes. We even had a video up a little while ago about it because it was just so damn good. If you haven't had the chance to see it, please go watch it. What about Demon Slayer? Please go watch it. There's a lot of shit out there that is just incredible, especially from what we had in the past to now. And that's just kind of the biggest reasons why I love anime so much. I mean, I'm sure you can attest to like, it definitely hits a special place at home, you know? And I don't think I would ever stop watching anime anytime soon. Anyways, dude, I think that's it. You know, I think this is a good place to kind of end it. Where can we find you, Brian?
Nowhere. Support. Buy Blu-ray DVDs and mangas to support the studios so we get more shit. Fuck you.
You heard it from the horse's mouth. Buy Blu-rays and buy
That's
more
what
mangas.
it depends on. They depend on their Blu-ray and manga sales, and sometimes merch. But other than that, if you fucking stream for free, you piece of shit, you fucking ruin it.
Yeah. Are you buying My Hero when it comes out?
Probably.
I'm gonna rent the fuck out of it and then buy it. Just because, fuck it. Because it'd be the price of the movie, and then I would rent it to even give them a little bit more. Anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for stopping by and giving us the time to talk about why we love anime. Please stay tuned because this podcast series is going to start kicking off with a lot more stuff. I got a couple more planned out. I think the next one's going to be with my brother, but who knows? Just stay tuned because I'm not going to make any promises. We're going to see the same time you do. So thank you guys again so much for stopping by. If you could do me one last favor before you go, and that's to weave as many fucking hand signs as you possibly can, okay? I want you to pretend like you're gonna shoot that jutsu out, and before you do, I want you to fucking 64 palm trigram into the motherfucking like button for me. Thank you guys so much. And as always, stay sweaty.
Hidden footage? You're not alone. There's no doubt. You're